I want mine from the jump. I always wanted mine. Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why? You know what is more about for me?
What is that?
It's because they're never going to cut us a check. That's just not going to happen. It's more of a disrespect when, kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, how they used our clip. And like I said,
you guys already know that you've been listened to, but it's stamped. So Adam Silver dropped some news regarding the NBA All-Star Game next year at the Clippers Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things are sounding familiar. So 3 of the things is 1, the All-Star Game will feature some form of Team USA versus Team World. There aren't specific details, but that's what he released. It will also now be in the afternoon instead of the evening time, and it will be on NBC instead. Mase, after hearing that news, and obviously we're still pending more details, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about them making a game at the afternoon, as well as taking this game and actually making it USA versus the world, these are all flattering things. Pause, because we know you're listening to me, you're listening to Killer. That's important, but we need a check. We know we're not with the big companies that you're talking about, but you can't keep stealing these ideas. I'm no longer flattered. I'm no longer flattered that people quote me and, use my IP. But it's time to pay up. We did that last season. You know what I'm saying? It's just enough is enough. I see them do this time after time. In big corporations, people that I think get paid to study, they be stealing a lot of my lines. It's crazy out here. Killer, I was on the internet the other day. They had your interview everywhere. It's flattering that people put the picture up, but come on.
Yeah.
I'm a partner. I need pause. I need in,
Yeah. Look, I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. Because I couldn't say, I never was flattered. I want mine from the jump. I always wanted mine. Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why? You know what is more about for me? Is because they're never going to cut us a check. That's just not going to happen. It's more of a disrespect when, kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, how they used our clip. And like I said, ESPN, feel free to use our clips. We have no problem with it. The only problem I had was that anytime they use anybody else's clips, they'll say where the clip is from. And for our stuff, they never said where the clip was from. And that be my only part, the acknowledgement. the shit when they be like, yo, we've been thinking about it. And we came to the conclusion that if the United States face the rest of the world, that's the ticket right there. But you know how they make the announcement, the undermine shit? What they do is with status, I didn't even know everything. What we're gonna do is gonna be the United States in some form against the world. And then we're gonna do it in the afternoon instead of nighttime. And then it's gonna be on not TNT, but NBC. First of all, look, let's do a couple things, right? We know it's not gonna be on TNT because the contract is up. So we know it's gonna be on MTV. Now you try and douse it with, try and start a new conversation like, yo, why it's not in nighttime? Right. Why I gotta be in afternoon? What the time got, all right, cool, whatever. The fact is, the main thing is that the United States will be playing against the rest of the world in some form, however you want to word it. But you try to douse those other things into it, to belittle the main thing that's the main thing is that the United States will be playing the rest of the world. Okay, cool, it's not coming on at nighttime. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, whatever. Oh, it's gonna be on NBC. Duh. The All-Star Game usually was coming on TNT. We know it's not gonna be on TNT. I have no idea. Murder, I don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just like, you might as well just take our money and slap us in the face at the same time and walk off and say we did that. We're open for secret consultation.
Yeah.
If you want to contact us and keep it, saying that y'all didn't use our consultation, we're available for that. We're available to give you secret ideas and act like, yo, it wasn't us. It's called ghostwriting.
Yeah, Nas wrote Get Jiggy With It.
Yeah, you know, Jay-Z wrote motherfucking Dre Day. I wrote for 3 Little Women.
You did?
Yeah, they hits, they single. I'm in the credits. I wrote that. Promises, that's me. I pinned that joint, man. I don't even know that's around Stat age group, a little older maybe. Maybe older than Stat. But yeah, man. We're very creative, man. Just tap in, man.
It's out of curiosity. Is there a song that you wrote that you feel like a lot of people don't know about? Because I know you wrote a lot.
Good thing.
You wrote half a Lil Kim album one time too, Lil C shit. Remember they paid you $30,000, nigga? Man, I wish I knew what I knew now. that was a lot of money at the time.
Yeah, man.
But I can't remember. I mean, I said I wrote for 3. I would have to look at my plaques in my house. I got a lot of plaques in my crib. But the one song that I will say that I did write, and I'm glad that they didn't take it, was I did write a song for Lil' Kim and she didn't want it. And the lyrics changed and I ended up keeping it for myself. It was one of my biggest records, but I wrote I Really Mean It for Lil' Kim. Same format, I Really Mean It, and she didn't like it. That was one of the best things, because that's like one of my closeout songs, to be totally honest with you. And she didn't want the song, and I'm happy she did.
Wow. Yeah, I'm happy you kept it, because that's on fire.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so quick little mock-up, because I know really y'all have thrown out the idea of Team USA versus the world a lot, but these are the players, because I know we were going back and forth on what players should be the team. So they've got Anthony Davis, KD, LeBron, Steph, and Jason Tatum versus Wemby, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, and SGA. So which team would you guys take in their prime? And which team would you take now?
Stat, you go, Stat, with these questions.
Decided, maybe 2 answers.
Man, in the prime, this still would probably be a good game, but I think I'm gonna go with the overseas team. I'm going with the overseas team right now. I don't know nobody that could stop SGA right now. It just seemed like they would have been better putting a bigger guard out there, because this is going to be impossible for Steph to stop SGA. They don't have no answer for him. And with Wemby and the rest of them, I think they win by double digits. I don't even think it's a close game.
So you would take the world now in their prime and now over Team USA?
Yeah.
Okay. Cam.
I would.
There's only 4 niggas in that picture. That's the point. You can't even find a 5th nigga from America.
No, it's 5.
Who's the 5?
AD, KD, LeBron, Steph, and Jason Tatum.
Okay, I seen a picture with 4. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think that team is good, but they're not going to be able to play good together, because all of them need a lot of shots.
Well, to answer the question, I'm taking the world now. In their prime, I'm taking America in their prime. You know, KD in his prime, and I hate to use the word prime, because these guys are still playing at a high level. KD, LeBron, Steph, those 3 especially, for being over 35 years old, 36, 37, 38. KD's going to be 37 at the beginning of the season. Steph is 37. LeBron, of course, we know going to be 41. So I would definitely take that team in its prime, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's today. Today, you looking at this. Let's think about the guards. Who's the guards for America?
Yeah. So
It's Steph and who? Jason Tatum at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking SGA over Steph. You can argue if you want to put Luka against Jason Tatum. Let's do the matchups. Luka against Jason Tatum. It depends on what Jason Tatum you're getting. You know what you're getting from Luka. It depends on what Jason Tatum you're getting. Who we got at the 3? Giannis and KD? KD, my man, that's a good one, because KD can shoot. KD can shoot. It's all about pick your poison with that. Do you want the 6'10", 6'11" lethal shooter, or you want a nigga that's strong and dominant that's going to go to the hole? Pause when you talk about Giannis. I would pick KD, but it's really about, that's not a bet. I wouldn't be mad if you did pick Giannis. Who's at the 4? LeBron against who?
Joker.
Joker at the 5.
Yeah, you would put AD with Joker. It would have to be
I'm taking Joker over AD.
Wemby.
Wemby against LeBron. I like Bron. Bron, you know Bron, my brother.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's hard, man. Boy, it's hard, man. It's hard, man. Yeah, it's hard, man. Pause.
And then you got AD versus Joker.
I'm taking Joker. I ain't even.
And the reason why I said the overseas team is because there's not much defense on this America team. It's like they're not gonna be playing no defense other than LeBron and Tatum. Nobody else really is gonna be playing defense. So that's two positions, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a hard one. I'm gonna let the comments.
KD is
let
not
us know
gonna be able to
too.
guard no Giannis full speed coming downhill. Pause. That's a bucket.
But can Giannis guard him when it's time to hit the 3?
That's true. That's a good.
That's why I said it's
KD is my favorite player.
That's why I said it's really, that matchup right there is really about, you could pick which type of game you want because they're the same height just about, but 2 totally different games. I'm not mad at either answer. Or who you would pick out of those 2.
Who do you think, Stat?
In their prime, I feel like I would take USA, and now I would take World. Prime KD, prime LeBron, like.
That's my answer too.
Yes.
Stat.
Yes.
Why do you smile like that when you say prime KD?
Because that's who I'm taking.
That's who you're taking. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We just agree to disagree, and that's okay.
Your eyes are rolling like I don't know what's going on here, but I'm an observer. I'm a doctor, Cam. You know, I pay attention to body language and eye movement and all that. You know,
I'm just expressive.
All right, I'm just saying there was a lot of flutters.
Jitters. I'm just expressive.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I feel like that's typically how I explain my answers. When I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going USA.
Okay.
Sorry.
Who would you take today out of, because that was my answer too, KD. I mean, KD and Giannis, because my answer was, I'm taking the world today and a primetime USA. But I'm asking you as today, Giannis or KD today?
Today?
Yeah. Because KD is still that nigga. I'm just asking.
For sure. And that's hard when you say it out loud. I think KD's like best.
I'm still going KD. But why your eyes do that?
Yo, you're annoying. I feel like that's hard.
I'm just watching.
It's like I can't help but choose KD, but like Giannis is also like, what? I think I would go Giannis.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. I think I would go with Giannis. But KD, to me, is still one of the best players ever, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go with KD today.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the prime, but you can't undervalue, and like I said, Giannis, to me, he's just first team All-NBA, but to undervalue the accuracy of a 7-foot shooter.
Before we jump into today's story, there's one important thing I want to make clear. Everything you're about to hear is based on documented interviews, established history surrounding Bad Boy and Dipset, and the well-known collaborative songwriting culture within the music industry. Whenever a claim crosses into rumor instead of proven fact, I'll say so directly, because presenting unverified ghostwriting allegations as confirmed truth simply wouldn't be accurate. That's the only responsible way to cover a topic this controversial without spreading misinformation. Now, with that out of the way, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down one of hip-hop's most debated and least proven mysteries, the long-running ghostwriting rumors connected to Harlem icons Mase, Diddy, and Camron. Trust me, this story goes much deeper than most people realize, so settle in, because we're traveling from the rise of Bad Boy Records in the mid-90s through the Diplomats era and into the lasting legacy these legends left behind. I also want to be completely transparent from the start. Much of this discussion lives somewhere between documented interviews and industry speculation rather than hard evidence. Throughout the video, I'll separate confirmed facts from theories, so you always know exactly what's backed up and what's simply been talked about over the years. With that said, let's get into it. But first, we need to understand the environment where all of these rumors first started. To make sense of the ghostwriting conversation surrounding Mase and Diddy, you first have to understand exactly how Bad Boy Records operated during its peak in the mid to late 1990s. Back then, Diddy, known to the world as Puff Daddy, transformed Bad Boy into one of the biggest commercial powerhouses in music by treating hit records almost like a carefully engineered formula. Behind the scenes, he surrounded himself with talented producers, writers, and trusted collaborators whose job was to perfect songs long before fans ever heard them. Believe it or not, none of that was considered unusual at the time. It was simply the Bad Boy blueprint, something countless interviews from that era, including comments made over the years by late producer Stevie J, have described as a highly collaborative creative process. Songs at Bad Boy rarely came together through one person alone. One producer might improve a hook, another artist could reshape a verse, and an in-house writer might tighten the chorus before the final version was complete. Mase stepped into that system as one of its brightest young stars, bringing effortless charisma and a smooth melodic flow that instantly connected with audiences. His debut album, Harlem World, arrived in 1997 and quickly reached multi-platinum status. Powered by massive radio hits and non-stop MTV exposure, Mase and Diddy developed undeniable chemistry while helping the Bad Boy roster create the polished, shiny suit sound that defined an entire generation of mainstream rap. Because that signature sound came from such a collaborative environment, it didn't take long before people began questioning how much of Mase's writing came directly from him and how much may have been influenced by those around him. Here's where things get interesting. Despite years of speculation, no verified documents, leaked writing credits, or confirmed first-hand testimony have ever identified someone secretly writing full verses for Mase. What does exist is extensive documentation showing that collaborative songwriting was simply part of Bad Boy's creative process. And that's exactly why these conversations have continued for so many years. Then, in 1999, at the absolute height of his success, Mase stunned the industry by stepping away from music to become a minister, launch his own church, and leave the spotlight behind almost overnight. That unexpected move only made his story even more legendary. When he eventually returned years later with new music, beginning with his 2004 comeback and later appearances, longtime listeners noticed subtle differences in both his delivery and lyrical style. Naturally, those changes reignited old debates about who, if anyone, may have helped shape those newer verses. Even so, it's important to remember that those discussions remain based on fan theories and internet speculation, not confirmed interviews or official songwriting credits. Now let's switch gears to Camron, because his path tells a very different story. Before launching his solo career and eventually building the Diplomats alongside Jim Jones and Juelz Santana in the early 2000s, Cam actually came up in Children of the Corn with none other than Mase himself. While Bad Boy thrived as a polished hit-making machine, Dipset carved out its reputation through independent hustle, mixtape dominance, and a business strategy that was years ahead of its time. Cam's voice, personality, and unmistakable flow are so unique that ghostwriting conversations rarely focus on someone secretly writing for him. Instead, the bigger question people continue asking is just how many rappers borrowed pieces of Cam's style without even realizing it. And honestly, that's where this story becomes even more fascinating, because Camron's influence on modern hip-hop has been acknowledged by journalists, artists, and historians for years. His creative rhyme patterns, unpredictable wordplay, signature ad-libs, and trend-setting fashion became a blueprint that echoed through multiple generations of rappers. Several artists who rose during the late 2000s and 2010s have openly credited Dipset as a major influence, explaining in interviews how Cam's cadence and unique way of bending words shaped the way they approached writing. That's not ghostwriting, it's influence. But as you'll see, the line between inspiration and imitation can become surprisingly difficult to define, especially when one artist's style spreads so widely that it becomes part of the culture itself. It's also worth looking at how the Diplomats operated internally.
Camron, Jim Jones, and Jules Santana spent years creating music together, and by nearly every account they shared a close creative bond, where ideas constantly moved back and forth. Just like legendary groups such as Wu-Tang Clan or NWA, it was completely normal for members to help refine each other's work during recording sessions. One person suggests a punchline, another improves the concept, the producer reshapes the hook, and before long, what sounds like one artist's solo vision is actually the result of a team effort built over years of collaboration. That's one of the most overlooked realities of crew-based hip-hop, and Dipset was no exception. Now let's take a closer look at why ghostwriting remains such a sensitive subject in rap, because understanding that helps explain why these debates refuse to disappear. Unlike pop music, where multiple writers on one song are common and widely accepted, hip-hop has always placed enormous value on authenticity. The expectation has always been that the artist is telling their own story, speaking with their own voice, and writing from their own experiences. And that's exactly what makes these conversations so compelling, because that promise of authenticity has always been one of rap's most powerful foundations. That's exactly why ghostwriting accusations, whether they're ever proven or not, can seriously affect how fans view an artist. Once people begin questioning who really wrote the lyrics, that sense of authenticity hip-hop is built on starts to feel a little less certain. And that's why even rumors with no solid evidence can follow a rapper for years, sometimes becoming part of their legacy regardless of whether they're true. What's even more interesting is how the music business itself has changed because of this ongoing debate. Throughout the 2010s, several
Major ghostwriting controversies involving other high-profile rappers pushed the subject into mainstream conversations like never before. Suddenly, fans weren't just listening to songs, they were digging into writing credits, publishing splits, and behind-the-scenes contributions across the industry. That shift also sent people back to revisit earlier eras, including the bad boy system that helped shape Mase and the creative environment surrounding Camron and Dipset. And once you look back through that lens, you start to understand why these conversations have never really disappeared. Now let's talk about the business side, because it explains why the ghostwriting debate surrounding these two camps has always been so different. Bad Boy functioned like a major label hit factory, investing heavily in producers, engineers, and songwriting teams whose job was to polish records until they were ready for commercial success. Over the years, Diddy has described his role as an executive producer who actively helped shape songs with his artists instead of simply recording whatever walked into the studio. That collaborative, executive-led system wasn't unusual. It was simply how major labels operated during that era, and Mase's biggest successes came from working inside that machine. Dipset took a completely different route. Instead of relying on the traditional label process, Camron and his crew flooded the streets with mixtapes during the early 2000s, releasing raw music with very little corporate interference. That freedom gave them a level of creative control that made their records feel far more unfiltered than the polished bad boy sound. It's also one of the biggest reasons Camron's style feels so authentic throughout his catalog, which is why most discussions focus on the artists he inspired rather than claims that someone else secretly wrote for him. So after looking at everything, here's what we can honestly say based on the available evidence. There is no verified proof that a specific ghostwriter secretly wrote Mase's biggest records, just as there's no confirmed evidence showing Camron quietly penned major hits for artists outside of his own circle. What history does show is that this era of hip-hop embraced collaboration, especially inside major label camps, while Camron's influence clearly appears in later generations of rappers who have openly acknowledged learning from his style. That's why the ghostwriting discussion surrounding these two artists exists mostly in the space between documented industry practices and decades of fan speculation, not because of any definitive smoking gun revelation. And if you ask me, that's exactly what keeps this topic so fascinating all these years later. Hip-hop has always been fueled by legends, insider stories, forgotten interviews, and rumors that never seem to be completely confirmed or completely disproven. Mase, Diddy, and Camron each represent a different blueprint for success during New York rap's golden era. One side mastered the major label hit-making formula, while the other built an empire through independence, chemistry, and the streets. Yet both paths created questions that fans are still debating decades later. When everything is said and done, the real legacy of these artists isn't determined by endless debates over who may have written what behind closed doors. It's the impact they left on the culture that continues to matter. Mase and Diddy helped define the shiny suit era with timeless records that people still play at parties, family gatherings, and celebrations years later. Camron, meanwhile, influenced far more than music. His language, fashion, confidence, and unmistakable style reshaped an entire generation of hip-hop. And whether every artist influenced by him gives him credit or not, you can still hear pieces of his blueprint throughout rap today. That's why the ghostwriting rumors, whether they're accurate, exaggerated, or completely unfounded, eventually become just another chapter in the mythology surrounding artists whose influence reaches legendary status. That's all for today's breakdown. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which Harlem legend do you believe had the strongest pen game? Mase, Diddy, or Camron? And if you've come across old interviews, behind-the-scenes stories, or interesting details about the Bad Boy or Dipset era, share them below because I'd love to see what you've uncovered.